What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and I just watched UFC Fight Night London, Evloev versus Murphy, and that went about as I expected, especially with the main event. I thought Movsar was going to win, and he won. And honestly, the fight was pretty competitive, which was expected. And to be honest, it went exactly as I thought it would, with both guys being going back and forth. But I thought Movsar would wrestle a lot sooner, but he still went on to outstrike Lerone Murphy and get a decision victory. He took 4 rounds. In my opinion, it was the correct scorecard. To be honest, I've been seeing people say that it's a robbery, but Movsar Evloev definitely did not lose that fight. If he didn't win, at the very least, it should have been a draw, because I thought Lerone, the rounds you could give to Lerone are the first 2 rounds, and then round 4 would be a 9-9 round, because Movsar won the round, but he lost a point. So it would be a draw, because Movsar clearly, well, in my opinion, he took round 5, and he also took round 3. And I think round 3 and round 1 are the 2 rounds that a lot of people are scoring for Lerone. But in my opinion, in round 1, it was back and forth, and Lerone was landing some good shots. But I think Evloev took the round with a big front kick to the body that I felt like hurt Lerone a little bit. If you see, it seems like he starts to drop his hands, and he kind of shatters his posture a little bit. And he just had a good poker face, and he didn't really show that he was really hurt. He kind of was able to mask it, and then Evloev was able to land some good punches in that round as well, which I felt gave him the first round. It was very close. Both guys weren't really landing too much, but I felt like Evloev had a little bit more impact. And then in round 3, I felt like Evloev stole the round at the end. I felt like he landed a good combination that, again, might have hurt Lerone a little bit. And that was the biggest shots of the fight, honestly. And Lerone was landing some good shots in round 3, but again, it was back and forth, and Movsar had gotten some takedowns in round 3. So ultimately, my scorecard was 48-46 for Movsar Evloev. But now he takes on Alexander Volkanovski, and that's going to be interesting, honestly. Now Movsar's 20-0. No one has been quite able to figure him out. It seems like a lot of fighters are getting close, but he still finds ways to win fights. And I think against Volkanovski, he is going to take his first L. I think Volk is just such a clean and sharp striker. He's fast as well. He's got a great jab, great kicks, and he's got some of the best anti-grappling in the whole of the UFC. And ultimately, I don't think that Movsar is going to do anything that Volk hasn't really seen in the octagon before. But as for Lerone, I think you could probably do him versus Yair Rodriguez. Both guys are strikers, and I think that'd be a good matchup for Lerone Murphy. And overall, it was a fairly competitive and fairly entertaining fight. But in the co-main event, we had Luke Riley essentially just kind of outstrike Mike Aswell for the whole fight. He was landing the bigger shots. He was getting clipped as well, but you could see that his punches had a lot more impact, and that's just ultimately how he was able to win. And again, Mike Aswell came in with a pretty one-dimensional approach. He was boxing. He was trying to get some takedowns and get into the clinch, but he wasn't really throwing kicks. He wasn't really mixing it up quite as much as he should have. And Mike Aswell Luke Riley was able to figure him out and comfortably outstrike him, to be honest, to a 30-27 decision victory. And then we also had on the card Michael Venom Page versus Sam Patterson, and that was not a great fight, but that is MVP. He is a very frustrating fighter to fight. He is very hard to hit. At the start of the fight, I felt like, whoa, this is kind of different, because MVP was putting a lot of pressure on Sam Patterson, and Patterson he actually clipped him with a left hook and then a right hand at some point. But then it kind of went back to a traditional MVP fight where he's kind of bouncing near the center of the ring and landing some shots, avoiding shots of his opponents. And yeah, that's pretty much how the fight went. He wasn't getting clipped too much. He wasn't throwing as much. I thought he was going to be a little bit more aggressive in this fight, really hunting that first KO in the UFC. I felt like he was more aggressive versus Kevin Holland, and even more aggressive against Cannonier and Ian Gary. But in this one, it didn't really seem like he was too aggressive or really chasing that KO. Maybe it's because he didn't really care about his opponent, and he was like, you know what, this is BS. I should be fighting someone better. But I don't know. Like, either way, I felt like it was not the greatest fight. But it was a solid win for Michael Venom Page. But then Iwo Baransky knocked out Austin Lane in 30 seconds. And that went about as how everyone thought it would. Austin Lane at this point, he doesn't have a chin. Like, these guys are very powerful. Like light heavyweights and heavyweights, all it takes is one. Like, any of these guys, they touch your chin and you're gonna go out. And if you don't really have that punch resistance, and now you're cutting weight for a guy like Austin Lane, of course you're gonna get put to sleep on the first exchange. And that's exactly what happened. I felt like at heavyweight, he was like a really big guy. He was obviously getting knocked out, but now you're cutting all this weight to make 205, and it's not like you're a small heavyweight, so of course you're gonna get knocked out. And yeah, that was a solid win and another first round KO for Iwo Baransky. But then we had Roman Dolidze taking out Christian Leroy Duncan, and CLD took the win. He was out striking Dolidze on the feet comfortably, stopping the takedowns early on. He was getting taken down, and he did get taken down in the third round, but his striking was able to get him the victory. Like, it seemed like Dolidze, like, again, he was like really jittery on the feet, and he wasn't really looking to stay on the feet, but I felt like he could have done a lot better. Like, if he was really like a little bit more aggressive and a lot more confident in his striking. And he even dropped Christian Leroy Duncan at one point with spinning back elbow, I believe. It was really unexpected, but then he kind of tried to look for it and force it a little bit too much, and CLD was able to avoid it and land some good strikes of his own, but wasn't able to get the finish. But overall, it was still a good performance from him. And then to open up the card, we had Danny Silva knocking out Curtis Campbell. This was a really solid performance from Danny Silva. Early on, he did get taken down, but he was able to work his way back up to the feet. But you could see, even from that first round, that there is a clear striking difference with the fluidity and the comfort of both guys. Like, Curtis Campbell wasn't really throwing anything. He wasn't really landing anything. And you can see Danny Silva was kind of having his way on the feet. And in the second round, it showed even more. Like, he got really aggressive, and he knew that there wasn't really a real threat on the feet. So he just went after Curtis and he put him out. Like, that was a great performance, great KO over a hyped up guy making his UFC debut. And now we could be looking at a real contender in Danny Silva. This guy has got great striking, good power, incredible striking defense. I mean, he was giving Kevin Vallejos a lot of trouble, and he's also got an iron chin because he was taking some bombs from him. He was evading a lot of shots, but he was still getting clipped on the chin. He's got that Mexican chin. He's got great defense, great footwork, great boxing, and now his grappling is looking good too. So I think we could potentially be seeing a next contender in Danny Silva. But overall, the main card wasn't too exciting, but the prelims really did deliver. There was a lot of good fights and good finishes on the prelims. And yeah, that was a overall, as a whole event, it was pretty solid, I would say, and went as expected. But let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think of the main event? Do you think it was robbery? With all that being said, make sure you guys like and subscribe. God bless, and I will see you in the next one.
Peace in our time.